Good day to you. We are going to do a little bit of a mobility session, so we're going to be up and standing. We're going to have our feet together, feet out once, heels out. We're going to drop the hands down the side of the leg. We're going to come up and then change sides. We're going to come up and then change sides. Bring the hand up and over the head, big reach to the side. Get that nice big long reach, trying to straighten that elbow out, trying to get the hand right up and over the head. Try not to lean forwards, we're leaning over and straight to the side. We're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, that's good, and 7. We're trying to really get that lean down. 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then back to the center. We're going to go down to the floor, so chin to chest, slowly down to the ground. Go all the way down. Keep the knees nice and straight. Keep the head tucked under. Hold that position. We're not forcing down to the floor. We're just letting gravity take you down. We're going to hold that there and keep holding. We're then going to restack the spine. So think about every vertebrae in the spine. Restack into standing. Hands in behind the back. Leaning back. Keeping the head looking forwards, hold it there, and then come back down to the floor, chin to chest, slowly down to the ground. Go down as low as you feel able. Hold it there. That's good. And then restack the spine all the way to standing, hands in behind the back, and leaning backwards. And then back down to the floor, chin to chest, slowly down, keep the legs nice and straight. We're going to bring both hands to the outside edge of one leg, so chin to chest, hands to the outside edge of one leg, hold that position. Let the shoulders rotate round towards that side as well, so let the shoulders come all the way around. And then we're going to change sides, so both hands to the outside edge of the other leg, let the shoulders come round. You're twisting around towards that side, holding it there. And then come back to the center, hands between the feet, and then restack to standing, hands in behind the back, leaning backwards, hold that position. Keep the hands there, come forwards, do a little bit of a bow, lean back, and then come back forwards. A little bit of a bow, we're going to go for 5, and then down, and 4, and 3, so repeated extensions, and 2, and then last one, 1, and then back to standing. Hands out to the side, nice big long weavers. We're going to take one hand, hand's going to point straight to the forwards, the other hand's going to point behind, and then you're going to switch positions, so you finish in that same position. So we're switching and switching. We're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Drop the hands down. Feet a little bit wider than the hips. Bring the hands out forwards, up to head height, and then drop your bum down towards the ground. Try not to let the knees come together. Let the knees go over the big toe. We're going to drop down. We're going to go for 10, and 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, that's good, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then standing up. We're going to go down into a split kneeling position. So we're going to go down into our proposing position. So now's a nice time to change the cameras as well. So we're going to go down into a kneeling position. Knees directly underneath the hip, 90 degrees in the front knee. Hands onto the hips. Try and have that knee and the foot directly in front of the hip rather than out to the side. We're going to think about your bum. We're going to tuck your bum. Feel the pressure at the front of the hip. And then come in forwards. Hold that position, feel the stretch at the front of the hip, hold it there, bring one hand up and over the head, bring the other hand up and over the head. We're going to lean down towards one side, I've got my left knee forward, so I'm going to lean down towards my left side. Try not to lean forwards. You're leaning directly to the side. Hands right up over the head. One hand is onto the top of the other hand. So one hand on top, hands stretched, and then lean down to the side. We're going to hold it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Come up, drop the hands down. We're going to bring the opposite hand in line with the back of the heel. So we're going to bring the opposite hand in line with the back of the heel. And then we're going to bring your shoulder towards your knee. So I'm going to bring my shoulder towards my knee. And then I'm going to bring my other hand up towards the ceiling. We're trying to get that top hand directly over the shoulder. And we're trying to spin round as much as you're able. That's good. Hold it there. 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to the center, and then we're going to change sides. So we're going to go up into kneeling on the other leg. Knees directly underneath the hip. The front knee, your knees at 90 degrees. Hands onto the hips. We're going to get our bum tucked under. So we want to make sure that your tailbone is tucked, and then come in forwards. You're going to feel pressure at the front of your hip. Hands onto the hips. Hold that position. Bring one hand up to the ceiling, bring the other hand up to the ceiling. One hand is going on top of the other hand, big stretch to the ceiling, and then you're going to lean down to the same side that your knee is forwards. So my right knee is forwards, so I'm leaning down towards my right side. We're going to hold that position. We're going to hold it for 3 and 2 and 1. Come back up. Bring your opposite hand down in line with the back of the heel. And then we're going to bring your shoulder towards your knee, and then your opposite hand is going to come up to the ceiling. You're going to open up the chest, try and get that top hand above your shoulder. We're going to hold that position, that's good. Try and look at the hand at the same time. So your top hand, you're looking at the top hand. We're going to hold it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Come back to the center, and then we're going to go down onto our hands and knees. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to arch the back up to the ceiling, and then we're going to sag the back down to the floor. So we're going into our cat-camel, so chin to chest, and then sag the back. Chin to chest, arch the back, lift the head, sag the back. We're going to go for 5. Down, and 4. And down, and 3, and down, and 2, that's good, and down, and 1, and then back down. Come back to a neutral back position, so your back is nice and straight. We're going to take our hand, we're going to take it through the gap, and we're going to drop the tip of the shoulder down to the floor. We're going to go make sure that tip of the shoulder gets all the way down to the floor, so we're going into thread the needle. We're going to hold it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring that same hand back to the center, and we're going to bring it right up towards the ceiling. We're going to try and get that hand directly over the shoulder. Your shoulder is above the bottom shoulder, and then the bottom shoulder is above the bottom hand. We're going to bring it back down. We're going to drop down all the way down to the floor, tip of the shoulder to the ground again. Let the arm that you're leaning on bend, and then bring that same hand up to the ceiling. And we're going to do it once more. So we're going to drop that same hand down to the floor, tip of the shoulder down to the ground, hold it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring that same hand up towards the ceiling, hold it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring the hand back to the floor underneath the shoulders, and we're going to change sides. So we're going to go other hand through the gap, tip of the shoulder down to the floor, hold it there for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring that same hand up towards the ceiling. My hand is above my shoulder is above my bottom shoulder, which is above my hand. We're going to hold it there for 2 and 1. Drop it back down again, all the way through. We're going to hold for 3 and 2 and 1. Bring that same hand up towards the ceiling. Hold it there for 3. You're looking up at the hand at the same time. 2 and 1. Drop it back down. Last time. So 3 and 2 and 1. Bring that same hand up to the ceiling. Last time to the ceiling. 3 and 2 and 1. And then drop it back down again. Bring your bum back to your ankles. Bring the elbows down to the floor. Bring the head down to the ground. So we're doing a curled up prayer position. So you're nice and curled. Head down to the ground, hold that position. We're going to hold that for 3 and 2 and then 1. And we're going to stretch the arms out along the mat, keeping yourself curled up into bum back to ankles position. So now we're doing a long child's pose. We're going to hold it there. Nice big long stretch. Then we're going to walk one hand to the side of the mat, and then your other hand is going to come on top of it. So you're walking the hand to the side of the mat, hand on top, and then you're going to shift your weight to the opposite side. So I'm taking my hands out to the left side, and my hips are going towards the right side. Chin stays tucked under, so chin to nose. Chin to nose. Nose to knee.
I was wondering.
Nose to knee. Hold that position. And then we're going to come back to the center and then change sides. So hand out to the side, other hand on top, chin to chest. Shift the weight to the opposite side. Hold it there. And then come back to the center, come up onto the hands and knees. So this one, you're going to have a choice. You can either go into your bird dog, pigeon pose position. So you're going to go hands and knees, bring your ankle in front of the opposite knee, and then take your back leg further back. So we're going to get a big stretch into the hip. With this position, you can either keep your weight directly in the center line, or you can shift the weight slightly out to the side. So I'm using my right hip. So if I take my right hip down to the floor a little bit more, we're going to change the angle of that stretch. So you can go stay on the hands, you can bring the elbows to the floor, or you can bring your head down to the ground. If you find that too much, you can also come up into sitting. Bring your both legs straight, bring the foot over the knee, and then hand onto the outside edge of the knee and pull it towards the opposite side. So you're either going to go pigeon pose, and then you can shift the weight as you feel you want that stretch. So sometimes you'll get a better stretch central. If you take the angle straight out a little bit to the side, you're going to increase that stretch. We're going to hold it there. And then you can roll out of that position, so you can come down into sitting, and then we're going to change sides. So you go back up onto the hands and knees, ankle in front of your opposite knee, slide that back leg further behind you, so you're sliding the back leg further behind, bring the elbows down to the floor, bring the head down to the ground, or if you're in sitting, you're going to go both legs straight, ankle over the knee, hands onto the outside edge of the knee, and pull that knee towards the opposite side. So you can choose which stretch you go into. We're going to hold it there. So you can keep on holding another couple of seconds. If you want to, you can shift your weight slightly further out to the side. Hold it there, you get a slightly different stretch. And then we're going to roll out of that position. We're going to go down into sitting. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together, hands onto the base of the toes, shimmy the bum towards the back of the heel. Pull yourself down, so you're pulling yourself down towards your toes, so your nose towards your toes. We're going to pull down, hold that position. I'm going to keep on holding. That's good. And then we're going to take one leg straight, bring the opposite knee, the opposite foot onto the inside of the knee, and then both hands are going to come down the leg. So I've got my foot on the inside of my knee, hands on top of my knee. I'm going to slide my hands down the leg, go down as low as you feel able. So go down as low as you feel able. You're going to grab that position on your leg, so either your knee, your calf, your ankle, or your foot. And you're going to try and pull down. So we're actively adding on pressure. You're adding on a pull. So we're going to try and actively pull yourself down. Try and keep the back of the knee down on the floor as well. So if your knee pops up, we want that knee to be down on the floor while we're coming down towards the toes. We're going to take our knee down towards your nose, your nose towards your knee. Oh my goodness, I'm getting back to front today. So we're going to hold it there, all the way down. And then after a couple of seconds, see if you can go a little bit lower. So you're going to pull even lower. Keep holding. So it's end range. We're really trying to go as deep as you can able. It feels vaguely comfortable. And then we're going to come up and change sides. So other foot onto the inside of the knee, back of the knee on the floor. Bring the hands down, either to the knee, the calf, the ankle, or the toes. And make sure that back of the knee stays on the floor, all the way down, nose down towards knee. Hold that position. And then after a couple of seconds, see if you can go a little bit lower. Hold it there. And then you're going to come up and we're going to take both legs straight. So both legs are going to go straight. Hands are going to come onto the knees. Slide the hands down. We're going to go back down to that same movement. So nose to knee, hands to ankle, hands to toes. As far as you feel able. Make sure the back of the knees don't pop up. Keep the knees down. Hold it there. Nice big stretch. Keep on holding. So we're going to keep on going. See if you can go a little bit lower. So add on that extra stretch. Hold. Keep holding. That's good. And then coming up, we're going to take the legs as wide as possible. So you're trying to separate the legs as wide as possible. We're going to point the toes up towards the ceiling. So try not to point the toes inwards or outwards. We want the toes pointing to the ceiling. And we're going to bring both hands down towards one foot. Try and get the hands to that same position. So see if you can get both hands to the same point on the leg. Same idea, you can grab your knee and pull down, your ankle, your calf, your toes, and then just hold that position. Try and keep the back of the knees on the floor. That's good. Hold it there. And then we're going to come up and we're going to change sides. So both hands down towards the other side. Go down as low as you feel able. Toes pointing to ceiling. Back of the knee on the floor. Hold that position, nose down towards knee. Hold it there. And then coming up, so we're going to take one leg straight, and then you're going to take the other leg, and it's going to come in behind. So we've got 90 degrees as much as possible between the knees. So some people will not get that distance between the knees, but we're aiming to try and get as much space between the knees as possible. And then we're going to bring the opposite hand down towards your toes going forward. So I've got my right leg forwards, I'm taking my left hand down towards the toes. Same idea, keep the back of the knee on the floor. We're going to hold that position. And take our nose down to the knee. Keep holding. And then we're going to come up, we're going to stay in that same position, and what we're going to do is we're going to drop back onto our elbow. So I've got right leg forwards, left leg out to the side. I'm going to drop back onto my right elbow. So it's the same side that's forwards. And then you're going to bring your other hand, and it's going to come onto the top of that hand. So I've got my right leg forwards, so I'm bringing my left hand on top of my right hand, and you're just twisting round towards that side as well. So we're twisting round towards that side. You're trying to look behind you and hold that position. So what should happen is you should get an extra stretch coming down the bent knee, down the front of the groin. So keep on holding it there. And then we're going to come back to the center, and we're going to change sides. So we've got 90 degrees between the thigh. I've got my left foot forwards. I'm going to bring my right hand down towards my left foot. So opposite hand to foot, nose to knee, back of the knee on the floor. Squeeze the back of the knee down. Try and point the toes to the ceiling as well. Keep holding. That's good. And then coming up, we're going to take the elbow down towards the ground, bring the opposite hand on top of that hand. So I've got my left foot forwards, my left leg forwards, I'm on my left elbow, and then my right hand comes on top of my left hand. Twisting round towards that side, you're going to try and look behind you as much as you're able. And then we're going to come back to the center. So we're going to go up into sitting. You're going to have your soles of the feet just the sort of wider than the mat, so wider than the mat. You're leaning back onto your hands. We're going to take one knee down to the floor, and then your opposite knee is going to come down to your ankle. And you're going to, as you're doing it, you're letting this hip come off the ground, and then we're going to change sides. So we're going to come down and then change sides. That's good. And you want to make sure that your feet are wide enough. If your feet are too close, it's just going to be a knee roll. So we want to get rotation onto the hips, so the feet have to be quite wide, so wider than the mat, and then knee down to the floor. We're trying to get the outside edge of this knee. I'm using my left knee here to the floor, and then the inside edge of the other knee. And we're going to go for 10. And then 9, and 8, and 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You'll go down the mat as you're doing it. And then we're going to roll onto your backs. We're going to pull both knees up towards the chest. Hug the knees in. Try and hug the knees enough that the base of your bum comes off the floor. So you're trying to hug the knees in enough that the base of your bum comes off the floor. So rather than just a nice gentle knee hug, it's quite a big knee hug. Trying to make sure that the base of the bum comes off the floor as much as possible. Hold that position. You can relax. You can close your eyes even if you want to. And then we're going to take one leg straight out. So one leg's going to go straight while hugging the other knee in. We're going to take the heel on the floor, and then you're going to squeeze the back of that straight leg knee onto the ground as well. So I'm hugging my left knee, my right leg is straight. I'm squeezing the back of my right knee down onto the floor as much as you're able to. Hold it there, and then we're going to change sides. So we're going to hug the other knee up to the chest. The other leg's going to go straight, squeezing the back of the knee down on the floor. We're going to hold it. And then we're going to go soles of the feet down on the floor, arms out wide, and then we're going to go into our knee roll position. So soles of the feet on the floor, knees together, ankles together, drop the knees out. We're trying to get the outside edge of your knee down to the floor while keeping the knees together. Hold that position. And then we're going to change sides. So you're going to bring the other knees up, other knees, bring both knees up, and then change sides. So back of the knee onto the outside edge of the knee, off the floor. Too many knees in that left sentence. And then bring them up and change sides, and then bring it up and change sides. So we're going to go into continuous knee rolls. We're just going to go for 5, so you're only going to drop them down for a little tap, and then change sides. Little tap and change sides. So 5, and up, and 4, and up, and 3, and up, and 2, and up, and 1, and then back to the center. Keep the arms out wide, straighten both legs out along the mat. Bring one knee up and over the hip. I'm using my right knee, so right knee is going to come up and over towards left side. All the way over, and then you're going to take your left hand onto the outside edge of your knee. The aim is to keep the shoulders on the floor while taking the knee all the way down to the ground. So we're going to try and get our big rotation. So you're going to go in as far as you're able to, keeping the back of the shoulders on the floor, and we're going to keep on holding. It's a nice big rotation, big stretch, good for the hips, good for the back. And then we're going to change sides, so bring both legs back to the center. Both legs are straight. We're going to bring the other knee up and over the hip. That knee is going to come up and over to the other side. Back of the shoulders stay on the floor, and then opposite hand comes onto the outside edge of the knee. Knee goes down to the floor. We're going to hold that position. Nice big stretch. And then we're going to come back to the center. Soles of the feet are going to come onto the floor. Ankle is going to come up onto the knee. Hands either side of the thigh that the ankle's on. You're going to interlock the fingers just behind the thigh, and then you're going to pull that thigh up towards you. So we're going to get a big stretch into the outside edge of the opposite hip. So I've got my right ankle on my left knee. Hands are going to go in behind my left thigh. I'm going to feel a stretch onto my right hip. I'm going to hold that position. There's too many lefts and rights in that sentence as well. And keep holding. And then we're going to change sides. So soles of feet down on the floor. Opposite ankle up onto the knee. Hands either side of the thigh. Pull that thigh up towards you. Hold that position. And then we're going to let the legs go down. We're going to roll onto your stomach. 2 last little stretches of the session. So we're going to just prop yourself up onto your elbows, elbows under shoulders, palm of the hands face down. Lift the head, look at the wall opposite, lifting the chest, just holding that position. We're just going to keep holding it there. And then we're going to let the head come down to the floor, hands under the shoulders. Push up through the hands, nice big cobra. Try and make sure the shoulders stay down. We're going to hold that position for 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back down, we're going to do that same movement again. So pushing back up again. We're going to hold for 3, and 2, and 1. Come back down 3 more times. So pushing up, hold for 3, repeat 5 times. And then back down. 2 more times, so pushing up. And then back down. Last time, so pushing up, nice big cobra. Hold that position. And then coming down, we're going to go up onto your hands and knees. Bring your bum back to your ankles. head down to the floor, curl yourself up into a little ball. You'll hold that for 20-30 seconds, and then that is the end of the first half, the bit of mobility, the 30 minutes mobility. So then you can walk the hands in, and that is the end of the 30 minutes of mobility. So good job, well done. Enjoy.